She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Hey guys, Musa here, and today I'm bringing you a blockbuster trade between the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. This trade that happened yesterday between the Chiefs and the Ravens were announced by a lot of different people in the NFL, but mainly Adam Schefter from the NFL tweeted this out, where the Kansas City Chiefs received tackle Orlando Brown, the 58th overall pick, and the 2022 6th round pick from the Baltimore Ravens, while the Baltimore Ravens received the 31st overall pick, the 94th overall pick, the 136th overall pick, and a 2022 5th round pick from the Kansas City Chiefs. Honestly, this trade looks equal. It's equal because Orlando Brown is a very good offensive tackle, and not the best, of course. He's not the best, but he's one of the best. Soon I'm going to tell you the entirety of the seasons that Orlando Brown has played with the Baltimore Ravens from his rookie year all the way to 2020. But honestly, I'm telling you, from seeing how well he's played throughout his years in Baltimore and how he has actually upgraded his play, is honestly very good. And he's only had one quarterback to protect, technically, if you don't count RG3 and Trace McSorley this year due to the fact of COVID. But that's not the point. The point is that realistically, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens are more or less equal in this trade. Now, Orlando Brown Jr. was drafted out of Oklahoma to the Baltimore Ravens with the 83rd pick of the 2018 NFL Draft, and in 2018, in his rookie year, he had a 67.8 grade by Pro Football Focus, and he had only 760 snaps, and only 3 times did he commit penalties, and he allowed no sacks that year. And honestly, I think that he was decent, or at least normal for an offensive lineman who is a rookie. But as his years of being in the NFL, he goes and improves his play. Now in 2019, he had a 72.0 grade, and he got his first Pro Bowl selection. In that year, he played in 1,105 snaps, 4th most in the NFL, tied of course, and tied 62nd again for penalties, as he only caused 3 penalties, and he allowed only 3 sacks, 5th most in the NFL, that's tied as well. But honestly, his second year was an improvement from his first. He did at least commit more sacks, of course, and he didn't do that much when it came to penalty. He at least kept it to 3, but his playing time increased, and then he got his Pro Bowl. Honestly, it's very difficult for an offensive lineman for you guys to see, oh, this guy's a very good offensive lineman, because all anyone cares about is the quarterback, the running back, the receiver, the tight end. No one cares about the offensive line, even though the offensive line is basically the main point of the team. Because if there's no offensive line, the quarterback's going to be sacked every second. And honestly, I think Orlando Brown's improvement in 2019 was very good. Now, in 2020, he had a 76.5 grade by Pro Football Focus, and he got his second Pro Bowl selection. He played at 1,027 snaps, 22nd most in the NFL. He had 5 penalties, tied for 19th in the entirety of the NFL, and he only allowed 3 sacks, tied for 26th in the entire NFL. He still improved, but he started committing more penalties. And of course, this year it was not normal. So we got to see some things that honestly we wouldn't see any other year. Like no preseason. Didn't even get to see anyone play this year until the season actually started. And that's a problem sometimes. And it was proven this year. And most likely there will be a preseason this year. But he definitely improved from the year prior. And honestly, he got a second Pro Bowl because he was that good. And honestly, he is one of the best offensive tackles the Ravens have had in this entire decade. And plus. You might say plus, maybe. But in this entire decade, he has been the best offensive tackle of the Baltimore Ravens. And this year proved it. Now, what do I think about this trade? Right now, even though it's equal, both the trade with Kansas City and Baltimore, I think Baltimore is winning right now due to the fact that they got so much draft capital. But it could also mean that they could pick some players that they shouldn't have, and then Orlando Brown starts being the most incredible offensive tackle in the NFL in Kansas City. He has a job to protect Patrick Mahomes, who didn't have an offensive lineman for the Super Bowl. Of course he did, but he had basically the replacement offensive line. So they needed to tune up that offensive line, and the additions they had this offseason is honestly incredible by the Kansas City Chiefs. So I do believe that Kansas City Chiefs offensive line is going to be so potent that Patrick Mahomes is barely going to have a jersey with any green, from Green from the Grass on it. That's how good this offensive line will most likely be in Kansas City. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also, tell me down in the comments below, what do you think of this trade? Orlando Brown to the Kansas City Chiefs and all these picks to the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you think won and why do you think they won? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.